So now that you have kind of seen how a Kahoot quiz occurs in the classroom, you probably want to know how to create one. So that's what I'm going to show you next. So once you log into your Kahoot account, you are taken to this home page. Let's say you want to create a quiz. So you go down here and you click quiz. The first thing you have to do is give your quiz a name. So for the sake of our example, I will call this example, and then you click go. So now you are asked to create question 1. I'm going to stay really simple here and just say, who was the first president of the United States? So once you have your question typed up, and you can also see up here, you can bold, you can italicize. If this is a math quiz, they do give you the option to use exponents, or if you need subscripts and other symbols. So that's really helpful. You can also determine how many points, if you want points to be given to this question or not. So I do want this to be considered a points question, and then you can choose your time limit. And you can do this for every question. You can go anywhere between 5 and 120 seconds. For our sake, I'm just going to keep it at 20 seconds. If you would like to create or add an image, you can go to Google Images or save something to your computer. You can get the files and you can upload it to your quiz. And that's very helpful, especially in math, or if you need a picture or a diagram, a table, or a chart to kind of supplement your question. So then here at the bottom, you have the option of coming up with 4 different answers. So let's say for answer 1, I will say John Adams. Answer 2, I am going to type in Abraham Lincoln. 3 will be George Washington. And then 4 will just say George Bush. And notice the symbols do come up again if you need to bold something, italicize, or add exponents or symbols. Okay, so the correct answer is obviously George Washington. So you want to click incorrect, and when you click it, it turns it green to correct. So that will be your correct answer. And you can also have more than one correct answer, but your students can only choose one. So if they choose one of, let's say, 3 correct answers, they get points. They can't select 3 separate things. So that will be my correct answer. From here, once you get your question going, you can add another question, you can duplicate it, you can delete it, cancel, or save and continue. If you hit save and continue, that means that you're done with the questions. So I will add another question. So to create my second question, I am going to add question, and now question 2. I'm going to show you how to upload an image. So which of the following shapes has a right angle? I will make it a points question. I'll give 20 seconds. Now choose file. I'm going to go to the desktop. I uploaded a picture that I saved from Google Images called Shapes. And the options that they give me are point. There's also a line, a rectangle, and then the last one is an ellipse. And so the rectangle is correct. And let's say I want this to be my last question. So I will go to save and continue. And it gives you an outline of all of your questions. So you can reorder the questions, you can drag and drop them if you want to move them around. But otherwise they will appear in the order in which you created them. So I like them in that order. I will go to save and continue again. And before you complete your quiz, you can talk about the language. You can make your quiz public or private. I'm going with public. The primary audience, it will be for 5th graders in school. You can just type in a description of your quiz. You can talk about the difficulty level. And then you can also use tags, which would be helpful. People who are searching for maybe a quiz on presidents, I would use presidents as a tag since I mentioned George Washington. So then from here you hit save and continue again. You can give your quiz a cover image, which is what appears as students first look at the smartboard as they're entering the quiz. You can also embed a YouTube video. to display as the background. And once all that's taken care of, you click done, and then you're ready to go. So you can play it immediately. You can preview it yourself by clicking this button. You can edit some of the questions, or you can share it. So you can share on Facebook. I've tweeted out my Kahoot quizzes before, the two that I did with my class, because they wanted to do them at home as a review. You can put them on Pinterest, Google+, or you can simply send it as an email. So I've used the email option when sharing my quizzes with my teaching partners. So to preview the quiz, let's see what it looks like. And the quiz name is example. We'll launch it, and here's what it'll look like on the phone. So we're waiting for the game pin to generate, and it's new every time. So the game pin is 39712. So you would type that in, 3972129. And this is really helpful to preview your quiz before you send it off to your students. So I would hit enter. And remember, this is what their device will look like, and this is what your smart board or whatever projection device you have in your classroom. So nickname, I'll say Carrie. I'm joining. I'm in, and notice it appears right there. So this is the teacher's version that displays on the smart board, and we are ready to go. So I'll start. 2 questions, and it's called example. So who was the first president of the United States? And you can see it's loading. And again, this is what the students will see. So we have John Adams, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, or George Bush. We have the countdown going. No one's answered yet. So I'm going to go with, let's pretend I didn't know and I got confused and said John Adams. So it tells me it's incorrect. And then it tells you George Washington was the correct answer. And because no one else is playing, I'm in first place. So again, once everyone answers, you will see this. The number tells you how many kids selected that answer. So 1 was wrong, and this was the correct choice. So we'll go next. Carrie with 0 Kahoots. Which of the following shapes has a right angle? So notice the teacher's screen and then the kid's screen. So the image pops up, and it says we've got a point, a line, a rectangle, or an ellipse. So I look at those 4 images. Okay, a point doesn't have any right angles, neither does a line or an ellipse, so I will go with rectangle. Rectangle is yellow, so I will go on my device and click yellow. And it will tell me correct. And just for your reference, it does not let the students know that an answer was correct until everyone has answered. So there will be a waiting screen on students' devices that will not say correct or incorrect yet. It will come up once everyone has answered the question. So next, of course, we get the scoreboard. That was the last question. We select end, and I won with 600 Kahoots. I answered 1 question correctly and 1 incorrectly. And then you can generate the feedback and results. And notice on the student screen, it tells what place you're in. You know, I was the top score. So feedback and results. The students can also offer some feedback. Did you learn something? Yes or no? Do you recommend it? And how fun was it on a scale of 1 to 5? And then tell us how you feel. Are you happy? Do you not care? Or are you sad? So I will say I liked it, had a good experience. The final results are generated, the scoreboard comes up, and then as a teacher, you download the results. They send you the results as an Excel document, which is very, very helpful. So on a final note, I do want to recommend Kahoot in your classroom. It is a great way for students to get super involved in a review or just a quick formative assessment to check their understanding. And it's almost like you're tricking your kids into actually reviewing or relearning material. So like I mentioned before, I like to share my Kahoot quizzes on my Twitter so my students can access them. And I also took a couple pictures in June when we used the Unit 8 measurement and geometry quiz. So as you can see up here on the smart board is where the questions are with the answers, and you can see on their iPads that they just have the 4 blocks of color. It was a math quiz, so it was a review, so I made sure to give them extra paper to work out the conversions and anything else that they needed. So here's one picture of them. Here's another of them working at their desks. We've got scrap paper. I gave them time probably about a minute to a minute and a half for each question. And again, the smart board displaying the quiz. And there they are again. So I hope this YouTube tutorial on Kahoot was helpful. Kahoot is super easy, and the benefits that you and your students get from it cannot be measured. So enjoy and good luck with Kahoot.